Before we start our Q&A session, we will be let's get started with our second round of lucky draw. For this round, we will be giving away a letter. We will be giving away Swift shopping vouchers. Let's get started. And stop. Let's round, please. And stop. Let's round, please. And stop. Let's round, please. And stop. And the last round. Stop. Congratulations to everyone. You will be contacted after this event. Now we will move to our second prize of this round. We'll select the winners of 10 Spotify membership for a year. Let's get started and start. Congratulations, everyone. We wish you enjoy the music. And then we will select. Let's move to our last round. Our last prize of today's event, which will be two Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. Carefully, and now let's get started. Congratulations for winning the biggest prize of today, and we hope you enjoy as your new smartphone to help you connect with your families and friends. And all of the winners will be contacted after. This mission will provide the most cutting-edge cloud security and infrastructure products. Will be nothing without the help of our customers and partners. Work closely with us to determine where there is a need or gap to fill in any industry or situation. Please welcome back Jason, Aaron, and Chief Administration submitting your inquiries. Even anyone with any questions will submit them now. We do need a Q&A form. We will try our best to reply to them. Now, let's move to our Q&A stage. Now let's get started. And congratulations to all of you. We hope you enjoy watching the movies with your families. Let me for your attention. And now we like before our Q&A session, we will start with another round, lucky round. We will be giving away another round of shopping vouchers. Another round, 50 shopping vouchers. Now let's get started. Congratulations. Next round, please. And next round, please. And stop. Next round, please. And next round, please. And stop. And last round, please. Congratulations to all of you. The winners will be contacted after today's event. Let's move to our second prize of this round lucky draw, which will be a 10-month membership for the winner. Watch carefully and good luck. Let's get started and stop. Congratulations. We hope you enjoy the music. And we will be giving away the last prize of today's conference, which is the most attractive and the most interesting, exciting one, which will be Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus, which will be two Samsung Galaxy S Plus S20 Plus. Now let's get started. Please watch carefully. And now, congratulations for winning the biggest prize of today's conference. We hope you enjoy with your new smartphone and to help you to connect with your families and friends. Apple's mission to provide the most cutting-edge cloud security infrastructure products would be nothing without the help of our customers and partners. Work closely with us to determine where there is a need or gap to fill in any industry or situation. So let's welcome Mike, Jason, Irene, and Chinny to answer any questions you have submitted during this conference. Anyone with any questions to submit them now. With the Q&A module, we will try our best to reply to them. Now let's move to our Q&A stage. Hi everyone, I'm Carrie, Marketing Specialist of Sangfor International Department. A warm welcome to all our guests today, and welcome to Sangfor's first annual virtual conference. Many of today's attendees we know from our past roadshows or summits, and we are also glad to see so many of you online. The theme of Sangfor's virtual conference is looking into the future. Something many of us are finding it difficult to do at the moment with so much uncertainty in the world. But Sangfor has built a business around the concept of building the cloud, security, and infrastructure of the future. And today is certainly no exception. Today's event will be divided into 3 main sessions. We will start with an opening speech, followed by cloud computing and network security. And we will finish with a Q&A session. Please feel free to drop your questions into the Q&A module, and we will try our best to reply to them. Our first speaker today will be Jason Yuan, the Vice President of Sangfor's International Department. In 20 years working in the IT industry, Jason has also worked with companies like Checkpoint, McAfee, Symantec, and NS Focus. Jason will start off today's conference with a discussion of future IT trends and what to look out for in the upcoming year. Let's welcome Jason to the virtual stage.
My name is Jason Yuan, and I'll talk about the global impact to economy caused by coronavirus, as well as impact to global IT. There are a number of forecasts starting from baseline to a really starting on fast recovery, a delayed cure, and then profound recessions. China started some of the biggest coronavirus, and in the worst case scenario, we're predicting as large as a 3.5% drop in GDP. Now, in this scenario, we're looking at perhaps another outbreak as early as 2021. Supply will be severely disrupted, factories remain closed, and demands are no longer there, and many, many bankruptcies. Now, this was the worst case scenario. In the fast response, we forecast the Chinese government will be very effective controlling the virus. The quarantines are much more effective. We're seeing a rapid response. Europe, on the other hand, not very lucky because they're one of the largest trading bloc in the world. As a result, they are heavily impacted. we do see a worst case scenario as fairly bad to its economy, especially in countries such as Italy, another area where tourism is a major portion of its economy. United States, with its primary market in domestically, as well as focus heavily on service, will be less impacted by coronavirus. Let's take a closer look at some regions closer to Southeast Asia. Developing nations in Southeast Asia will take a major hit. Countries such as Thailand is heavily reliant on tourism. They'll be hit pretty hard. Malaysia, not only also reliant on tourism, it borrows a lot. It'll be hit quite bad as well. Countries such as Vietnam would actually benefit from countries like China, where exports as well as the factory productions would drop, and then Vietnam would actually pick up as a result. Let's take a look at across different industries. Not all industries are reduced in terms of its economic spending. Of course, the worst ones will be retail and travels. They're the hardest hit for business impact. Communications will be areas that can actually benefit from increased demands for work from home, education, e-learning, and guess what? A lot of entertainment. Other areas such as healthcare, education, as well as public sectors will be positively impacted as well. PricewaterhouseCoopers launched its CFO COVID-19 survey about 3 weeks ago, and then set up a benchmark for corporate finance. It found that 26% of US CFOs are anticipating layoffs. Meanwhile, 82% of CFOs are focusing on cost cutting, with 67% of them expecting deferred or canceling planned investments. Facilities and capital expenditures are two of the top areas. What does that do to IT? 53% of CFOs says IT spending will be cut. Now, let's take a look at an interesting area. Very few of them are saying cut will be impacting to cybersecurity. They do believe this is an area that they will continue to see strong investment in 2020 as well as years ahead. Gartner believes there are 4 phases of coronavirus: stabilization, peak infection, recovery, and return to growth. Phase 1 is initial impact by coronavirus. Public health and government control is getting stabilized. The first phase of CIO's cash constraint situation will be to defer discretionary spendings, which means putting purchases of devices such as printers and PCs on hold. And there will be hiring freezes for new staff, and projects will be postponed or signed, with starting date will be pushed to the future. Countries such as Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines are in phase 1 today, in my opinion. Phase 2 is peak of infection. Should the cash constraint situation deepens or lengthen, the second phase is usually to reevaluate ongoing projects and to look at projects where there are short-term value that will be approved. Projects with longer-term value or impact will be very much deferred. In phase 2, things such as data center systems often face spending constraints. CIOs are asking prolonged life cycles for both hardware, such as servers and networking equipments. In phase 3, things start to rebound. This is where buyers begin to find their new normal. And phase 4, we're looking at a full recovery. However, I do believe that phase 4's recovery will not be as strong as previous years before coronavirus. During the pandemic sessions, productivity projects are prioritized to encourage work from home and really collaborations. Sangfor, we actually get a lot of calls across different regions asking to help our customers to work from home. We're getting a lot of interest in SSL VPNs, a lot of interest in VDIs. In other areas, Zoom is getting a lot of attention for video conferencing. In January, I believe the download was 56,000 in a month. And fast forward just only 2 months in March, Zoom got 2.6 million downloads worldwide. Data center is typically non-discretionary. However, there are ways CIOs can control cost. The biggest method is to extend life cycles. The good news for data center is vertical industries that are hit the hardest by coronavirus, such as retail and travel, tend to have smaller data centers. Other verticals, such as government, telco, and e-commerce or finance, education, with large data centers, typically have strong need for data centers. Within data center itself, one of the biggest change will be to extend the life cycles. The product that probably gets hit the hardest is ECB, external controller-based storage. They'll be hit the hardest, followed by hardware such as traditional networking and firewalls. Although firewalls are a fundamental building block to provide SSL VPNs or VPN access for work from home, that could change the variable a little bit. Let's take a look at PCs. Last year, we saw the end of Windows 10 migration. So that part was over. So we're looking at CIOs are asking departments to extending their existing life cycles for PCs as well. Now, because of the recent need for work from home, as well as education requirements, we're seeing a recent spike in buying up laptops or Chromebooks just in the last couple of months to support that areas. For industries with difficult or top security requirements for data privacy, we're seeing a strong requirement for VDIs or desktop as a service. VDIs and DAS can provide the best security compliance as well as good user experience across different mechanisms. As business go through dealing with revenue uncertainties, managing cash will be of the utmost concern for CFOs. Companies don't go out of business because they're not profitable. They go out of business because they ran out of cash. CFOs are asking CIOs to minimizing their spending. The best way to do that is to move from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. Speaking of moving from CapEx to OpEx, cloud offers CIOs two distinct advantages: cost scaling with use and deferred spending. Whenever CIOs are evaluating a new project, cloud helps them to start this project so they can actually pay very little upfront, and there's less cash spending required in 2020, so they can actually get going, and they don't have to spend heavily on data center requirements. For software as a service, as many employees are working from home, there's a sudden surge in demand for collaboration solutions. So the spike in Zooms as well as Microsoft adoption really of Teams is a good validation in this demand. Infrastructure as a service, we do see online shopping, video streaming, as well as citizens are really self-isolating themselves at homes. This is driving an increased spending on infrastructure as a service everywhere for even e-commerce, broadcasters, and even government to offer, actually to loan money out to the citizens. In terms of security, there are a number of ways that can be actually changing because of COVID-19. One of the first is the short-term requirement to support for work from home. This allows customers to use SSL VPN technologies to help them to connect their users from home to their productivity applications in the office. Organizations already, spending quite a bit, but they're getting more on buying laptops and tablets to support the usage in that areas. Firewalls and VPNs and IPS, things like this, will be asked to extend their life cycles. Now, for projects that has longer life cycle, such as SIM or application testing, these areas requires a longer term ROI or longer term deployment cycle. They're likely going to be deferred in 2020 and beyond. There are some newer trends for security because of coronavirus. Security as a service is getting a lot of attention as no hardware is required, and it can actually support a lot of remote users to help them to better defend the users as well as the corporate network. Remote incident response is getting very popular, especially for Sangfor, as IT guys are not able to go back to their office. However, hackers are not stopping. So remote IR is getting a lot of interest, and Sangfor can actually help the customers in that area. And then another area is a cloud-based SOC or cloud-based MDR. These are areas where customers will be asking a lot of questions. Hey, I can't do a real-time monitoring. Can you provide a 24/7 monitoring for me and to help me to investigate what's going on? And then real-time MDR will be a great way to move forward. Well, many IT organizations are actually reducing their revenue outcome. Many vendors are reducing their cost. Nutanix, for example, just announced furloughing its employees 1,465. That's 25% of its workforce last week. That was pretty heavy, and we do expect other vendors to do the same. Sangfor, for us, business as usual. As far back as 2 months ago, Sangfor in the HQ, we've been back in the office. We're wearing masks. We're working in the office. Most of us, developers, support, are working in the office. In regions across the world, we're working either from home or from our office. We are keeping a social distance from our clients or our partners, but we're working. And we do want to help you as well, right? And Sangfor International is actually not reducing spending. We're actually increasing spending. We're hiring more, invest more, especially for the international business. And we're getting a lot of calls for working with clients like yourself to connect your users as they work from home. Call us. We'll help you out. This is Jason, and we'll continue the sessions later on.
Thank you, Jason. As you can see, cloud continues to be a booming industry, and our next speaker is here to share how Sangfor is creating the cloud of the future. Chunyi Hu currently serves as a Sangfor Cloud Computing Product Manager with 10 years experience in the IT industry. Please feel free to ask Chunyi any questions during the presentation, and we will try our best to reply to them at the end of the conference. Please welcome Chunyi to the stage.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chunyi Hu, Sangfor Senior Product Manager for Hyperconverged Infrastructure Product. I'm so glad to be here today to brief you with our latest cloud developments. So let's take a look at how Sangfor creates the cloud of the future. As Jason has mentioned in his session, this COVID-19 pandemic has caused significant impact to our life and work. Businesses are of no exception. Businesses that were usually done in a face-to-face manner now have been migrated or shifted to online platforms. We are all using all kinds of video conferencing applications to stay in contact and get business done. Enterprises are preferred to run their workloads on off-premises cloud environments like public cloud services or managed cloud services, while on-premises data center facilities are out of favor because of the regulations of social distancing and stay-at-home orders. Meanwhile, cloud giants are aggressively investing to take advantage of this pandemic to expand their data center footprint and the business footprint. Alibaba recently has announced that they are going to invest $28 billion into their data center facility, operating systems, and hardware. Amazon and Microsoft are also throwing big dollars into their cloud regions build out. Google, not left out by the cloud arms race, is also investing a lot of money into their cloud capacity expansion. They announced that they are going to invest 20 billion over the next 5 years to expand their cloud capacity. This is the time when the old meets the new. Customers who have invested heavily into their on-premises data center facilities will not have those facilities go away right now. And especially for customers who have their business critical applications and the sensitive data that they need to be run on-premises data facility. They want to have control over those applications. They will still rely on on-premises or locally located data center platforms to run those applications. So change doesn't happen overnight, even though we know public cloud is going to be dominant at some point in the future, in the long-term future. But in the near future, the coexistence of legacy infrastructure and the new cloud infrastructure will be the new normal in the near future. If you don't believe it, don't take it from us. Take it from IDC. IDC has predicted that by 2022, over 90% of customers, of enterprises, will be relying on a mix of dedicated or on-premises private cloud, multiple public clouds, and the legacy platforms to meet their business requirements. And they said 2021, which is next year, is going to be the year of multi-cloud. And we totally agree with them. So how does Sangfor fit in this rosy and cloudy picture? We are constantly adjusting our cloud strategy to make sure Sangfor has a sweet spot in the cloud world. As some of you may have already been familiar with us, Sangfor started as a HCI innovator. We innovatively integrated compute, storage, networking, and security into a single unified hyper-converged platform. With that platform, customers can easily build a software-defined data center. And it is the most simplified hyper-converged platform by far on the market. Our groundbreaking, what you draw is what you get, visualized network topology management has made data center operations and maintenance so easy that it had never been so easy until Sangfor did it. And during the past 5 years market development, our HCI solution has been adopted by various customers from a myriad of industries. They are mostly using our solutions in 4 major use cases: data center consolidation, enterprise applications, data protection and disaster recovery, last but not least, cloud transformation. So now next, let's take a look at these scenarios one by one. Data center consolidation has always been the top use scenario for Sangfor HCI. With commodity x86 servers and commodity layer 2 switches, combined with our software, customer is able to build a software-defined data center so easily without any trouble or hassle. Multiple tiers of storage networking, servers, networking, and security can be consolidated to only 2 tiers. Everything is defined by software. We have a government customer who has used our solutions to consolidate more than 20 physical servers. They are only using 3 nodes of HCI appliances. The CapEx reduction is 50% from $100,000 if they use 3-tier architecture to only $50,000 with Sangfor HCI. Significant cost reduction. The next scenario, enterprise applications. We all know Sangfor HCI is designed and optimized to run enterprise applications. We have customers from manufacturing industries who are running SCADA, MES on our platform. We have enterprise customers who are running CRM, ERP, all those enterprise business critical applications on Sangfor HCI with reliability, availability, and high performance. A healthcare customer who are running their HIS and PACS associated with database services on our platform. And with this architecture, they are able to reduce their pharmaceutical handling time from 4 minutes per person, per patient, to 1 minute. That is a 75% time reduction for the pharmaceutical waiting time. And as you may know, most enterprise applications are associated with databases. Sangfor HCI has optimized for the compute and storage to run database with high performance, high reliability, and of course, ease of use. We have particularly optimized our user interface to make customers deploy database like a piece of cake on our platform. And next scenario, data protection and disaster recovery. Sangfor HCI has a full set of data protection and high availability mechanisms that are building into the platform to make sure customers' applications are highly available and highly reliable. We can provide the backup, which is free of charge. The backup is integrated. Customers can enable it on demand. If they want to further the protection, we can give them the continuous data protection. Again, integrated. It has a flexible licensing model. Customers can choose to enable it on demand. If they want to stretch the protection to off-site data centers, we're also giving them the disaster recovery and the stretch cluster solutions. They can easily establish an active standby and active solution, data disaster recovery and business continuity solutions for them. We have a manufacturer customer who are running our HCI in their multiple factory sites. Until now, they have suffered 0 data loss and 0 business downtime in the past 2 years use. Significant and impressive reliability and availability provided by Sangfor HCI. The last but not least, cloud transformation. In the prior 3 use cases, HCI mostly serves as an underlying virtualized infrastructure platform to host the customer's mission critical applications, to protect them, and to make sure they have high performance. In this case, cloud transformation, with the introduction of Sangfor Cloud Management Platform, Sangfor HCI is turned into a private cloud. And with cloud, it comes with automation, orchestration, multi-tenancy, billing and metering, as well as self-service portal. What do those features mean? They mean efficiency and productivity. So previously, if you run your applications on a traditional virtualized environment, it is going to take you a lot of time to provision resources because everything needs to be done manually. If one user needs resources, they have to file the ticket, and the IT admin has to provision the resources manually. It's really time consuming. With cloud involved into this portfolio, resources can be provisioned as easily as possible and as quickly as possible. Previously, running traditional virtualized environment is going to take several hours or even days for the resources to be ready. But now, with Sangfor HCI combined with our cloud management platform, because automation and orchestration are embedded, the resources can be provisioned in minutes. So great productivity improvement. So next, let's hear the feedback from one of our customers from Philippines. Let's hear what they said about our Sangfor HCI solution.
So I'm Gio Gonzalez, the IT head for Bora Budget Mart. We had a challenge during implementation of Microsoft Dynamics AX. The infrastructure is not enough to handle the transaction load that is being done in our ERP. We look for to upgrade the server or buy a new one. We look to virtualize the current environment of AX. And the other is to address the storage requirement, the processing requirement, we look to use hyperconverge. So we did a test for the three solutions. During our testing using the Sangfor machine, there are big improvements that has been provided. First is the processing speed. Secondly is the usability and scalability. In the IT standpoint, it helps us to monitor the virtualized environment. Sangfor is lower cost and provides more features.
So as I introduced, Sangfor HCI works this way with commodity x86 servers and commodity layer 2 switches. Customers can build a software-defined data center with all the building blocks they need. We have ASV for compute, ASAN for storage, ANET for networking, and ASAC for security. With our intuitive web-based single pane of glass management, customers can easily manage all the resources running on top. And with the introduction of our cloud management platform, Sangfor HCI is turned into an enterprise cloud. A lot of automation and orchestration are built in to accelerate business productivity and agility. But we understand at these uncertain times, not only does customer need a flexible, scalable, and secure virtualized environment or private cloud environment, they also need flexible consumption model to help them navigate in these uncharted waters. That is why we are introducing Sangfor Managed Cloud Service. To introduce that part, I'd like to invite my colleague, Mars. Mars is our cloud marketing director who has been working on Sangfor Managed Cloud Service based on HCI in the past few months. So Mars, please take it away.
Thank you, Shane. As Jason has mentioned in his session, in this unprecedented and overwhelming time, everyone is feeling the very impact caused by COVID-19. Customers tend to save more and spend less. Some budgets are cut, some are reduced. To prepare for the uncertain times which lie ahead, subscription model is widely adopted to greatly reduce the upfront cost. To facilitate this consumption model, Sangfor has introduced the new Managed Cloud Service based on our HCI and cloud platform, with Sangfor providing technology and the partners providing the commercial service. Customers are able to enjoy a tailored cloud service with them right at the center. Different from public cloud services, Sangfor Managed Cloud Service offers you the same simplicity enjoyed by our HCI customers and a pay-as-you-go model to help you brace for uncertainty and save for now and the future. We all understand that there are many cloud providers in the market space for end customers to choose from. with big names like Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. So the question is, why do customers choose to partner with Sangfor managed cloud service providers? As you can see, I have listed some of the most common answers to this question here. The key here is that the customers want a personalized solution that are not available from the larger vendors. Together, we deliver a customized cloud solution, not just a technical solution, but a solution which fits the customer's needs, not just for now, but expandable into the future. Let me give you a real-world live example of a customer that has moved from on-premise VMware infrastructure to a Sangfor managed cloud service run by one of our partners. The CEO of this manufacturing company was looking to move away from the complexity and the daily responsibility of the on-site infrastructure to the specialist cloud provider, while providing a secure environment and a stable, cost-effective structure to expand the business. The solution was delivered by the partner in 2 stages. The first stage is to build out the customer's environment in the cloud, and then migrate customers' on-premise workload with a minimal disruption, as seen on the left-hand side of the slide. Stage 2 of the project was to offer disaster recovery for the cloud environment into the secondary data center on the right-hand side of the slide. The second site offers unparalleled security for the customer's business. This is just one of many examples of the type of customers we have taking advantage of this new project. So let's have a look at this customer's deeper requirements. Okay, data center needs to be close to the customer for best response. This seems quite a common sense requirement, but is not necessarily true with the larger providers. Public cloud is standard offering, but the customer requires customization. The customer had difficulty with this, as with some providers offer just a take it or leave it option. It is very hard to customize on the general public cloud. Disaster recovery is required to keep the business running without making changes to the end user's computers. So it's essential to have a good networking infrastructure which is not easily available on the public cloud. As the customer did not plan to have any on-IT support, this was essential to them. Stable cost is essential, with many customers sharing horror stories of bills from large providers reaching 2 to 4 times the estimated cost. Many horror stories are available on Google, with customers getting large bills than expected. Need a local cloud provider that can help with setup and migration. Knowing the existing infrastructure is essential to smooth migration process, and your local Sangfor cloud provider can help with this. Major requirements are local language and human support when needed. Sometimes the simplest things are the most valuable. Being put through to a call center in another part of the world is never fun. For this particular customer, the Sangfor managed cloud service partner was able to reduce the 5-year TCO by 40% and the time to implementation by 75%. Not only that, but also offer a more personalized service and a solution package, which met all the customer's requirements and future expansion. And now we will play a brief video of one of our managed cloud service partners, after which I will hand you back to Cheney for his closing remarks. Thank you for your time.
Nella storia del gruppo Fastera, l'anno cruciale risulta essere il 2003, anno in cui Fastera nasce e a partire dal quale si evolve fino a proporre al mercato 6 divisioni altamente specializzate e sinergiche. Le divisioni sono composte da professionisti e collaboratori fortemente specializzati in grado di creare e proporre consulenze, progetti e soluzioni innovative per svariati settori. Il nostro obiettivo è quindi quello di fornire soluzioni cloud sempre più innovative e personalizzabili per garantire ai clienti la massima efficienza e supporto della crescita del business aziendale. Per questo abbiamo trovato in Sangfor una soluzione innovativa, performante e iperconvergente che risponde alle nostre esigenze di crescita. Sangfor si è rivelato infatti un partner strategico che ci ha permesso di far evolvere il nostro prodotto Cloud, fino ad ora sviluppato solo internamente, permettendoci l'erogazione di un servizio a 360 gradi basato sull'iperconvergenza con backup e disaster recovery integrati. Inoltre Sangfor ci mette a disposizione un portale per la gestione centralizzata e autonoma delle componenti dell'infrastruttura che andiamo a realizzare per i nostri clienti. Affidabilità, competenza, sicurezza, flessibilità, supporto e sviluppo sono tra le principali caratteristiche che abbiamo in comune con Sangfor e che ci permettono di collaborare in modo sinergico per trovare sempre soluzioni innovative e personalizzate per i nostri clienti oggi cloud.
Thank you, Mas. With Sangfor Managed Cloud Service, we are enabling our partners to build a localized, flexible, and secure managed cloud service for our customers with flexible consumption model. But that is still is focused on the infrastructure layer. That means all the virtual resources are like virtual compute, virtual storage. We also understand that nowadays in this digital transformation, more and more enterprise applications are architected in containers. Those cloud native applications, they are containerized and managed by Kubernetes. That is why in the next few months, we are going to release a couple of versions to support platform as a service. That means customers are able to deploy not only virtual servers on Sangfor HCI, but also containerize the applications on Sangfor HCI. And they can be managed by Kubernetes. And we understand because the portability of containers, customers may choose to run them on public cloud services like AWS. We are giving them the unified management for both Sangfor Cloud and AWS. Customers can choose where to run their containerized workloads and their virtual machine workloads. We are not only unifying the management for your containers and AWS public cloud services, we are also giving you the options for other environments. We know you may have different environments for your applications, for your workloads. You may run your workloads on Sangfor HCI, on VMware, on Alibaba Cloud, on AWS. There's no worry. We give you the unified management to unify the management for all the different environments. We do not stop there. We're also giving you the compatibility for OpenStack-based cloud. If you have your own cloud architected in OpenStack framework, we give you the integration easily. We give you the API so that you can use our Sangfor Cloud to manage not only Sangfor HCI or VMware, but also your OpenStack-based private or public cloud. So the story works like this. With all those great technologies and great solutions, we are laying a solid cloud foundation for our customers' business, for your business. We are here with our partners, our customers, every step of the way. If you need to build a virtualized infrastructure platform, we give you the core HCI platform. With ASV, ANET, ASAN, ASAC, you can build a software-defined data center very easily, and it's so secured. If you want to build a private cloud, because cloud gives you more agility and more automation, that means more productivity. We give you the Sangfor Cloud plus Sangfor HCI so that you have a private cloud based on HCI as the building block. And we are also elevating your focus from the underlying virtual infrastructure resources to your applications. And like we introduced, this is going to be a multi-cloud world, a hybrid cloud world. So we are enabling you to take that journey. Sangfor Cloud is the universal cloud management platform for you to manage different cloud environments. And in that way, there's no need for you to focus on the underlying infrastructure or the underlying cloud platforms. You simply choose where is best suited to run your workloads, and you run them and manage by Sangfor Cloud. This is the future of cloud. And as a business landscape is ever changing, Sangfor is here to provide you and to lay a solid cloud foundation to make your business future-proof in this digital age. Last but not least, just to give you a heads up, we are going to have a new cloud virtual experience center to be online pretty soon. And with this new virtual cloud experience center, you are able to experience the latest and the most innovative cloud technologies provided by Sangfor. So that concludes my presentation. I believe we are going to have a lucky draw session coming up. So good luck to you guys. And back to you, Carrie.
Thank you so much for your attention. And now we'd like to show our appreciation for your time and participation by doing our first round of the lucky draw. We have prepared 50 shopping vouchers. Watch carefully and good luck, everyone. Now let's get started. And stop. Next round, please. And stop. Next round, please. And stop. Next round, please. And stop. The last round, please. And stop. Congratulations to all of you. All the winners will be contacted after today's virtual conference. Now let's move to our next prize, which will be 10 Netflix membership for a year. Watch carefully and good luck. Let's get started. And stop. Congratulations, everyone. We hope you enjoy the movies with your families. Thank you.
In the security session, I'll start talking about the recent challenges and trend for security caused by COVID-19. And then I'll invite Guy Roosevelt to talk about best practice, followed by Sangfor Solutions, talked by Aaron Ge. In Q1, cybersecurity has not stopped. Even we have worked from home. We're seeing quite a bit of a spike. For example, there has been over 900,000 total spam messages related to COVID-19. 700 unique malware designed specifically for COVID-19. And then 48,000 URLs that are malicious because of COVID-19. On the other hand, we're seeing a 200 times of increase of spam from February to March. It could be partially because February, it was a quiet time for everyone, including the hackers, but March activities are picking up. Similarly, 260% increase in malicious URLs from February to March as well. The areas that are hit the most by spam messages is United States. As organizations all over the world are rushing to adopt to quarantining, supporting productivity or work from home becomes a higher priority. Often that is done by IT without really spending a lot of technology or practice or configuration to hardening their IT. As a result, things has cracked down. For example, Zoom has been hijacked. Governments in many organizations, many parts of the world have banned Zoom to be used for some time. Similarly, attacks can easily bypass VPNs. And we found mountains of evidence where hackers attack the users at home, and then from that VPNs attack the headquarters. That's a trend everywhere. Now, who is behind all these? Traditionally, there's the nation state, and then there's the organized crimes, individual hackers, and of course, some of the insiders within your own organization. Who is profiting from COVID-19? Well, some of the latest research indicating the winner is organized crime. The reason is it's all about profit. There's been a lot of money to be made for ransomware and similar type of attacks as a result of COVID-19. They're using a lot of subjects near and dear to the heart. Take a look at some of the titles, right? Fact sheets, information about COVID-19, medical supplies, testing kits. These are popular terms not only used by us, but also hackers. Average users need to be taught on distinguishing a good email from a potentially bad source. Now, this is one of many tips offered by Interpol. They've published a checklist on how to provide some of the best protections. For IT, of course, you need to back up online and offline files regularly and securely, right? Some of the ransomware is actually attacking the backups. Make sure they're protected. Strengthen your networks, not only at your office, but also for homes for your employees. Use strong passwords, change them regularly, and sometimes use dual-factor authentication to decrease the likelihood of hackers hijacking the VPN sessions. Of course, patch regularly as needed. On the other hand, IT need to actually be the leader and teach the end users on changing their habit, managing their social media profiles. Don't expose where they work. This is one way of hacker finds out how, more information about the company, what kind of titles, what's their responsibilities. Minimize that footprint. Check their privacy and security settings online. And of course, user awareness training on avoiding opening and delete suspicious emails. A lot of education need to be had for the users. Now, this is a very general checklist. To learn more about best practice, I would like to introduce Guy Roosevelt, Director of Product Marketing, based in our California office. Let's welcome Guy.
Thank you, Jason. With the advent of COVID-19, we've seen organizations deploy new security technologies become effective and efficient during this time. Things like work from home using SSL VPN, remote collaboration tools like Office 365, remote conferencing, and even more cloud services. And this way of doing business is not going to change anytime soon. In fact, we'll probably see it stay for a very long time as we see that the potential for pandemic is still going to be around for over a year or more. The thing is, these organizations deploy these technologies very quickly and not necessarily in a secure manner. In fact, Microsoft just recently released an advisory that talked about how organizations need to do a better job of looking at the security controls and implementing Office 365 in a more secure manner to reduce the kinds of attack surfaces that attackers can take advantage of to breach the organization. And that becomes a very big thing as we go forward. We want to make sure that we can identify these attack surfaces, close them down so breaches don't occur. But that means I have to now go back and relook at my security strategy for not just on-premise, but how do I deploy these remote technologies? How do I integrate these cloud services that we've talked about in our sections here? Now, when an organization does get breached, it takes on average globally 197 days for an organization to discover that a breach has occurred. That's a very long time. And once the breach has occurred, it takes 69 days or more for the breach to be mitigated, to be taken care of. And all that time and money, loss of downtime, loss of productivity is very expensive. On average, these attacks can cost $3.7 million per organization. Studies have shown that small businesses, medium-sized businesses that had a breach would be out of business in 12 to 18 months because they can't afford the ancillary costs associated with trying to remediate these kinds of breaches. When an attack occurs, an advanced persistent threat or malware goes through a series of steps to breach the organization called a kill chain. And the steps in the kill chain are very simple to understand, but they're very, very effective in what they do. So the first thing that happens from a kill chain perspective is the infection. How does the malware or the advanced persistent threat get into the organization? That can happen through a phishing attack. It can happen through someone going to a malicious website, clicking on a link that's going to download the malware. It can be a USB drive that's brought into the organization that's infected, that someone just plugs into a laptop or system in there that then all of a sudden propagates throughout the system. Once the malware is in the organization, it now tries to connect to the command and control server, or the general, as it were, to give it the instruction of what it should do next. What kinds of things should this malware do? Should it become a botnet and then be able to run DDoS attacks against other organizations? Should it be a crypto mining tool to be able to try to generate money for the attacker? Or shall it be initiating ransomware to infect and encrypt all the hard drives in the organization so that the victim now has to pay a ransom to be able to get the data back? Once these systems have been infected, they're going to now try to propagate as quickly as possible to other parts of the organization, spread very, very fast, because the more damage they can do, the more systems they can overtake, the better it is for the attacker to give them the leverage to either become stronger at doing things or to be able to force the victim to pay more money. Now, you're going to say, well, I've got a firewall, I've got endpoint technology, all this great stuff, I'm really good at being protected. Well, the problem is, a lot of organizations that have these technologies still get infected. Why? Because these are point products. And these products have a specific sphere of influence that don't overlap each other. And attackers have become smarter of understanding where these gaps are in these spheres of influence. They know that they can sneak in between a firewall and an endpoint and be able to then deploy malware. And if you don't think that's true, go back and look at WannaCry 2017. WannaCry was the most insidious ransomware attack to date, where it infected over 200,000 systems in a few days in 150 countries. And every organization that was attacked, every organization that was successfully infiltrated, all had firewalls and antivirus, and in many cases, email gateways as well. With the advent of additional cloud services to be able to be more efficient, one of the things organizations don't know is that not only do they have these allowed authorized cloud services that they're offering to their employees, but employees are also using other cloud services that the organization may not be aware of, either provide additional tool sets that the organization doesn't necessarily have, or to do personal things such as running Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, other kinds of stuff. Because the organization doesn't know about these other cloud services that are running in the organization, that now provides new attack services that again can be used to be breached into the organization. So what is needed going forward is a better approach in terms of doing detection and response with an organization, an integrated way of taking all my devices and saying, hey, how do I communicate between my devices to be able to do certain kind of things? First off, we start with things like malware. Malware is going to say, hey, I can detect and block everything, and that's completely untrue. Third-party analysis shows that, on average, malware protection, anti-malware protection, antivirus is 99.5% effective. So that means something's going to get through, okay? So what do you do when something gets through? Malware is best effort. Well, you need an integrated approach that says, hey, I'm going to be able to deal with the response. And what does that mean? Well, let's say, for example, that I have a firewall that's detecting command and control communication between an endpoint and a known command and control server. Well, that doesn't mean something to necessarily to the firewall. It just blocks that connection. It's a known command and control server and doesn't do anything. But if the firewall integrated directly with the endpoint, the firewall could say, hey, endpoint, you're talking to a command and control server, run a scan, determine if you're infected, tell me what's going on. And the endpoint can say, hey, yes, I have been infected, kill that session. And you know what, if you see that session for anybody else, make sure you kill those too, because likely all those other systems are infected. So again, by having a closed loop response, you can act more quickly to be able to stop bad things from happening in your organization. And along with this coordination, not only can I block things going out to the internet and be able to prevent exfiltration of data and the infiltration of command and control instructions coming through, I can also use it to help mitigate the propagation of bad things across parts of my organization. So I can ensure that if I can't bring a system down offline because it's infected, say a e-commerce server that's generating tens of thousands of dollars an hour, I can't bring that down. I can do things to make sure that that server, while it's still running, can't propagate and infect other parts of the organization. Some of the challenges still come to detecting attacks in the environment. So we need to have a way to give us a better way of looking at a holistic view of the attacks, the events, what's going on in the environment by looking not just at traffic going north, south, inside the outside the internet and back again, but east-west laterally within the organization, looking at server logs, looking at endpoint logs, looking at security logs, looking at network traffic flows, pulling all this stuff together into a cohesive way of being able to see everything that happens in the environment. I need to tie that to threat intelligence that can give me a good overview of what's happening from the outside world globally and how it affects my environment internally. So for example, I see that I have a bunch of vulnerabilities in my environment. That's great. But if I can now map a global threat or a global threat actor running a campaign against a specific vulnerability I have that's going against other industries, such as the same vertical that I'm in, or potentially in country, then now I have impotence to say, hey, this is getting closer to me. I need to act on it now. And detection is not just about looking for threats I do know, it becomes about looking for threats I don't know. That's the hard part. How to identify what unknown attacks are by looking at behavior, by looking at trends, things I can't normally do just by looking at log monitoring devices or SAMs. To be able to detect hidden threats, I need to have a more advanced way of looking at attack patterns. How can I see visually attacks that are happening within my organization? How are they spreading laterally coming in? How can I identify where the origin of the attack was and how it spread throughout my environment? How can I ensure that I'm not seeing internal policy violations that are indicators that an attack might be occurring? Say I'm seeing unauthorized access by users or applications that shouldn't be doing certain kind of things. Or how can I determine if I'm seeing a business exception? Or maybe I'm seeing an application that has privileged access that is allowing it to gain access to other parts of the organization it shouldn't do. This is where something called zero trust comes in, where you give a user or an application only the level of access it needs to do what it needs to do and no more. So it can't do anything additional. So it can prevent that from causing more damage in the organization. Because we're talking about using more cloud technologies, we have to have a way of being able to access these cloud technologies and monitoring their access more securely. How do I know if I'm using unauthorized cloud technologies in my environment? So I need some kind of cloud access security broker, or CASB, CASB, that lets me track and monitor all the cloud activity through a gateway. So I can see if people are accessing allowed cloud services, and they're doing it in a secure and approved manner. And if they're accessing other cloud services they shouldn't be doing, so I can then go ahead and disable those cloud services from being used within the organization, or be able to monitor activity to ensure that an attack service isn't compromised by an outside threat actor. When we're using these cloud technologies, I have to be able to track them, which means a lot of these cloud technologies are using encrypted traffic. Well, I need a way to be able to inspect the traffic going in and out of my organization. So I need some way of being able to do SSL VPN monitoring. I need to be able to do shadow IT discovery, which means how can I see if there are backups or other applications that are running or other things in my environment that IT is not aware of that could potentially, again, cause new attack surfaces that we need to do something about. And then more importantly, I need to be able to track all this activity for compliance purposes, be able to identify the source, be able to maintain log data, to be able to show that I can track all this stuff for a long period of time for compliance, and be able to identify business risk, to be able to identify, prioritize which of these events might be big threats coming into my environment. Sangfor believes that an organization should have a holistic integrated detection and response solution implemented as part of their strategy, which means they take threat intelligence, they take a command and control function, possibly some kind of managed services, and they all integrate with the on-premise network firewalls, access management controls, endpoint technologies, and also using cloud technologies for doing backups to ensure that ransomware is not going to encrypt files that are in the organization and you can't get them back. Because one of the things ransomware is very good at doing is identifying backup technologies on premise and encrypting the backups as well as the primary data so you can't get the data back. By providing this integrated detection and response capability, it becomes more service-centric, it becomes more coordinated, so I'd be able to respond to these threats and attacks more quickly than I could in the past, because now all of a sudden my spheres of influence are now overlapping as opposed to being separate. To support and facilitate this integrated detection and response strategy, Sangfor has released Cyber Command, the cornerstone for security operations and for threat hunting. Cyber Command has the ability to pull in data from all kinds of sources, not just log data, not just network data, not just endpoint data, but threat intelligence data and other kinds of things to be able to give you this holistic view of all the events that are happening in your environment, provide you timelines to be able to look and see historically where these threats have come in, how to identify ground zero of a breach, be able to identify what the attack was, and then provide you remediation strategies on how to mitigate and get rid of these breaches before they become worse. Sangfor products can support integrated detection and response by using our NeuralX threat intelligence, integrating with Cyber Command, that integrates with our next generation application firewalls and our IAM access management technologies and our endpoint security technologies along with our cloud backup. By being able to pull all these things together, being able to monitor these things together, being able to manage these things together, and being able to build coordinated and response policies that says, if I see a threat, I can now tell the firewall to do this and the endpoint to do this together. I have the ability to respond more quickly, to be able to stop things like propagation, to be able to stop command and control, to ensure that we can detect breaches more quickly and be able to mitigate them a lot sooner than 197 days. With that, take it, Carrie.
Thank you, Guy and Jason. The cybersecurity industry is growing just as fast as cloud. And with so many threats growing just as fast, our next speaker is here to share Sangfor MDR and IR services. As before, please use our Q&A module to ask any questions. We will try our best to address them at the end of the event. Please welcome Irene Ge, Sangfor's Security Product Manager, with us since 2015.
Thank you, Guy, for the introduction. This is Aaron Ge. So just now, Guy has introduced Sangfor's security solutions during and post this special period of time. And in security industry, we know that there is no 100% secure. So that's why we are here talking about Sangfor cybersecurity service. So one of the services that becoming trending and most of the customers are demanding nowadays is incident response. The cyber threats are emerging every day and endangering every industry. And the fact is that not every attack can be prevented. So what is incident response? Incident response is an organized process to deal with a security incident or any data breach. Any incident could have significant impact to not only the network of the organization, but much time and resources will be spent to deal with the incident. IR is needed to deal with the security event and recover the business in a short period of time. To the organization, incident response is helpful to minimize impact and guarantee the business continuity and strengthen the overall security posture of the organizations. And incident response process is normally have 6 different phases. Before an attack occurs, we have to be prepared for that. So everyone should know what is their task and how to do it. Second is identify whether the attack is genuine attack or this is a false positive. Once identified as a true attack, we have to take actions to contain the controls. Here is one of the case of Sangfor help our customers with our IR service. The company was in UAE with more than 2,500 employees. The attacker have planted some ransomware in their network. The AD and file server was affected. Without AD, those PCs are not able to log in. So the admin, the financial team are unable to do the transaction for their customers and partners. At that time, they just want to recover the business. So they just restore the backup image from the backup servers. After 1 hour, the backup was completed. So the business was recovered. Only half an hour later, the ransomware hit them again. So they repeat the steps for another 3 times. The ransomware hit them 3 more times. Facing this headache, they called Sangfor for help. By investigation, we find that the AD get infected because of the SMB logging from the file server and we proceeded to check on the file server. We found that it was a zero patient that due to the SMB protocol proposed to the internet. Now we know the channel of infection, which is from internet to the file server to the AD server. The root cause is exposure of high-risk ports to the internet. And we help them to remediate the risk and recover the business. We also provide a long-term improvements such as VLAN segregation or network segmentations. In this case, you can see that the right process of incident response is very important. We need to recover the business interruption, but also to find the root cause and the kill chain, fix them, and learn from the mistakes. The other training security service that have high demand from the customer is MSS, Managed Security Service. Some of the CISOs have already adopted MSS to help them improve security postures, which can include 24/7 monitoring, event notification of the alerts from the security products or hardware status such as high CPU. So they will inform the organizations to take action on that. They can also help organization in event correlation and also change management like configuration of the firewall rules. But is this enough? Do they have the latest threat intelligence to identify the unknown threats? Do they validate events whether this is a genuine attack or false positive? Do they have professional experts run the security event analysis? Do they help organizations in incident response, or do they have the threat containment? Most of the traditional MSS providers never have this. So what is the right answer to the security services for the CISOs? It is MDR, a managed detection and response service. According to Gartner, by 2024, there will be 25% of the organizations will be using MDR services, up from less than 5% today. And 40% of the mid-sized enterprises will use MDR as their only managed security service. And why there is increasing demand for MDR service? Because it is a service that improves threat detection, monitoring, and incident response capabilities via a turnkey approach to detecting threats that have bypassed other controls. The most important is that MDR have involved human elements into threat hunting and response to threats discovered, which will be more effective facing the new and unknown attacks. So here is another customer who benefit from Sangfor's MDR service. This company have more than 4,000 employees and multiple branches in different locations. They have no resource for 24/7 monitoring. They have no talents to perform immediate incident response in case of any attack. They do not have threat intelligence for them to prepare threat hunting in their environment. Facing these challenges, they want a service provider which can help them with these shortages. After adopting Sangfor MDR service, the result is surprising. With 1 week monitoring, we detect numbers of issues such as backdoors, crypto mining, download from malicious websites. How can we identify this result? We place service components like firewalls and other network monitoring tools in the network. The logs and network traffic will be analyzed with thousands of use cases. The root cause and the chain of infection will be shown to our security professionals who are monitoring them 24/7. Once the alerts received, they will verify whether this is the false positive and start to remediate the issue by providing incident response analysis services. However, the journey does not stop here. We keep providing proactive threat hunting with our threat intelligence platform to the customer. After a few months of continuous service, we can see the numbers of threats is high at first, and finally, they are greatly reduced. So facing this special period of time, here are 2 takeaways for you. First, the global business will be no longer easy after pandemic. And do not let cybersecurity make it worse. Second, let us assist you focus on recovering your business back on track. Leave the security matters to us. So to build your security resilience, what you should do now. In the coming next weeks, you can start your work from home according to our best practice. If there is any challenges, you can arrange dedicated presentation from Sangfor for help. In next 3 months, according to the experience here, most of the companies will recover and employees will be back to office. You need to be prepared. You can offload your security operation to us and focus on your business recovery. In the next 6 to 12 months, adopt continuous proactive assessment and make sure the cybersecurity protect your business and also help you on your expansion and growth. And we offer free incident response till the end of Q3. Do not hesitate to contact Sangfor professionals. So that's how Sangfor solution and security services can help or during and after this special period of time. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention. Before our Q&A session, let's get started with our second lucky draw. We will be giving away another 50 shopping vouchers. So watch carefully and good luck, everyone. Now, let's get started. And stop. Congratulations, everyone. Let's get started with our next round. And stop. Congratulations. Next round, please. And stop. Congratulations, everyone. Let's get started with our next round. And stop. Congratulations, everyone. Let's get started with our next round and the last round, please. And stop. Congratulations, everyone. All the winners will be contacted after today's virtual conference. Now, let's move to our next prize, which will be 10 Spotify membership for a year. Watch carefully and good luck, everyone. Now, let's get started. And stop. Congratulations to all of you. We hope you enjoy the music with your families and friends. Now, we will be giving away the most exciting and attractive prize of today's conference, which will be 2 Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. Watch carefully and good luck, everyone. Now, let's get started. And stop. Congratulations for winning the biggest prize of today's virtual conference. We hope you enjoy with your new smartphone to help you to connect with your families and friends. Sangfor's mission to provide the most cutting-edge cloud security and infrastructure products would be nothing without the help of our customers and partners who work closely with us to determine where there is a need or gap to fill in any industry or situation. Please welcome back Jason, Irene, and Chinny to answer any questions you have submitted during the conference. And we invite anyone with any questions to use the Q&A module to submit them now, and we will try our best to reply to them. Thank you. Now, let's move to our Q&A stage. Please kindly wait a few minutes.
Hello guys, welcome back. This is Aaron Ge. So in this session, we are going to answer the questions you guys posted on the chat room or the question sessions. So we have collected our website, from our homepage, we have a section that talks about work from home. We essentially provide two category of solutions. The first one is to connect your users to your office. So we have a set of SSL VPN solutions, either as dedicated SSL VPN or SSL VPN module to our next-gen firewall into our environment. Secondly, we can provide additional security to secure both the employees as well as the network by using products such as Endpoint Secure. And then lastly, for customers who are extremely conscious of data privacy, VDI is the best way to do it. So that offers the best data privacy for customers who has that solution. In addition, we have a second category of solutions during this time to help customers provide really a business continuity. Our HCI helps customers to provide HA, backup, as well as DR. During this time, we're seeing a lot of ITs not able to do a lot of operations, in particular, security operation. So our Platform X, as well as our MDR service, can help you as well as some of the partners to deliver remote 24/7 event monitoring capabilities. And also we are, in the last couple of months, we're seeing customers still suffering from attacks such as ransomware. We do have a remote instant response that are available to customers worldwide. Back to you.
Thanks, Jason. So the first question about the cloud is that we have merged some of the questions from you guys because it's related to the categories or the question different same types. So the question is about most customer ask about Sangfor is that can Sangfor HCI operate with 3-node or start with 2 nodes? Jenny.
Absolutely. The short answer for that question is yes, because everybody knows our Sangfor HCI is software based, it's distributed, scale out architecture. Customers can start with 2 nodes if they want to have a full functions of our HCI, but they can expand gradually depending on their business requirements. You know, to tell customers a secret, actually, we can even start with 1 node. But starting with 1 node, we can only enjoy the benefits of our ASV compute virtualization. You cannot utilize the distributed storage architecture, you know, virtualized by our ASAN. So our recommendation for customers is if you want to use virtual storage and virtual compute, then you start with 2 nodes. But if you want a better performance, you want a better reliability, because on the 3 nodes configuration and upwards, we are using our advanced storage technologies like data striping, like linked clone, things like that. So the conclusion is you can start with 2 nodes. And our recommendation is if you are going to run your most mission critical applications like Oracle database, even Oracle RAC, all those, enterprise business critical applications, then, you can start with 3 nodes. That is, the answer for that question.
Okay. The second question for the security is that most of the customer caring about their spendings, so and also their security effectiveness. So the question is, my company already spent a lot of money and buy expensive security products from other vendors, but still get infected by a mining virus last month. So what is Sangfor's suggestion for this customer, Jason?
Very good question. In fact, I would say 90% of our customers have the similar problems. Most customers use traditional products such as firewalls or AVs for protection. When you put them together, guess what? Attacks still go through. There are 2 limitations. One of them is the limitation of the technology, not able to see all the malwares that are newly created. Secondly, there are a ton of misconfiguration going on. And we're really seeing this is something that's difficult. So what customers are missing today in their security practice is detection and response. Sangfor's Cyber Command, as introduced by Guy, is here to rescue. It offers one of the best response and detection, as well as threat hunting. In addition to technology, security operation is equally important, especially for customers who has suffered attacks such as ransomware. We have the ability to provide instant response to our customers we can help them to investigate what's going on, track down patient zero, and provide a mitigation for the customers.
Okay, thanks, Jason. If you still have problems or challenges with dealing with your security incident, you can contact Sangfor professionals for the incident response services or our MSS, our partners. And for the cloud, here is a question about the third-party compatibilities. So the question is, can Sangfor SCI support Oracle DB or fully support SAP HANA? Jenny.
Okay, so the short answer is technically, yes, our platform can support all those mission-critical database applications and SAP HANA based on ERP, those applications, because Sangfor HCI serves as the underlying virtualized infrastructure platform to support all those mission-critical applications. We have optimized our platforms for databases like Oracle and SQL Server. So if you are familiar with our product, you may be, you are able to see on the user interface, we have a step-by-step guiding wizard for Oracle RAC, Oracle database, and the SQL Server database. Customers can easily deploy their database services on Sangfor HCI. And we have specifically optimized our storage and compute to make sure that those applications running on our HCI can get the performance they need, get the reliability they need. And especially for SAP HANA, because it is a large memory database application. If some of the customers who have tried our platform before, they may be understanding that previously our platform can only support virtual machines with maximum 256 gigabytes of RAM. But now the restriction has been lifted. Our virtual machine running on HCI can support up to 1 terabyte of memory to support SAP HANA instances. So great improvement. So the answer for your question is absolutely, our platform can support all those mission critical applications like Oracle database and SAP HANA.
Thanks, Jenny. So the answer is that Sangfor SCI can host most of your core business applications. And the next question for security is that because we mentioned the security operation in our speech, and one of the Tenny asked about outsourcing their security operation in a few months. So how can they do it to start with the security operation outsource?
Very good question. Security operation is a key requirement to provide solid security posture and to minimize security risk. To do that, not every company can afford doing that because this can be very expensive and security operational experts are hard to find. Sangfor, together with our partners, can deliver this directly or actually work with our partners to deliver multiple services. So from Sangfor, we can actually help you with device management, including firewall management, endpoint management. We can help you with 24/7 monitoring, and we can provide instant response. I would encourage you to contact your local sales representative who can actually put you in touch with our security services team, who can help you to evaluate your existing security posture and make the right recommendation on your next step.
Thanks, Jason. As now in this special period of time, we are at home for the quarantine, but also our sales, our technical engineers are also stand by online to help you to cover your business and your the IT systems. And next question for the cloud is that about deploy SCI with additional storage. So the customer have already using Sangfor SCI, but he want to know that can they use additional storage with their existing HCI or need additional nodes to do it?
Good question. Because as I mentioned, Sangfor HCI is this distributed architecture. That means the software is deployed on multiple server nodes. So on the servers, you will have disks. The disks will compose, make up your storage. ASAN will virtualize those disks and create a storage pool. However, we do understand when customers' business grows, they need more capacity, they need more performance. So what can they do? The first scenario is that you can add more disks to your nodes if you have available disk slots in your servers. The second scenario is customer has an existing some storage or NAS storage. They can reuse those legacy storage appliances and attach those appliances to HCI platform. And HCI can utilize those storage resources and take it as a backup repository or run your workloads on it. The last option, of course, customers can expand with more nodes. Let's say if they started with 3 nodes and their business grows, they need more performance, they need more capacity, and they do not have enough disk slots to accommodate this storage expansion. What can they do? Maybe in the meantime, they also need more performance. In that way, in that situation, then they can add more nodes. With more nodes being added to the cluster, they get more performance. They also get more capacity. So the answer is, of course, you can get additional storage, either by adding more nodes, adding more disks, or adding your existing storage appliances.
Okay, nowadays this is a big data era. There was much more data coming to your system collected from the systems or applications. So the storage is more important, so we can provide the flexible extension based on our SCI. Okay, the next question about the security is that some of the customer, because they have spent a lot of money purchasing a lot of security appliances or services. So the question goes that Sangfor Cyber Command detection and response, can they work with your current non-Sangfor security products from their network?
Quick answer is yes. So in summary, Cyber Command is a combination of network traffic detection, SIM, SOC operation, as well as integrate some of the EDR functionality by working with Sangfor Endpoint Secure. Now, Cyber Command has been around for a number of years in different markets. Today, there are over 2,500 customers using Sangfor Cyber Command. Most of them start without Sangfor security products. All they need to do is plug this product into their core switch, and we can actually instantly monitor the internal network traffic and provide valuable data. On top of that, if you're not using Sangfor products, we can actually integrate with a number of networking as well as endpoint detection capabilities, and then make it useful for you to perform better analysis.
Okay, thanks, Jason. The next question is for cloud, but actually is the customer also concerned about the security, right? The Tanya asked that if the government agency implement SCI technology, so how safe is the data? Can we protect the data for them?
So we understand the customer has the concern of, regarding data security and data reliability. We do have lots of customers, government customers, who are using our HCI solutions to transform their legacy data center, to consolidate their data center footprint. And those customers are running their most mission critical, government businesses on top of our platform. So about the data security or data reliability, what I can tell you is we have a full set of features to guarantee that the data running on HCI is redundant. Because it's distributed, you have multiple nodes, the data is copied into multiple replicas. At least 2 copies are dispersed across 2 nodes. So if one node fails, you still have your complete data copy. Your business won't get disrupted. And because we have this high availability that is building into the hypervisor level. So when node goes down, the businesses on that failed node will be failed over automatically to the remaining nodes to resume your service. So that is the local protection provided by Sangfor HCI. We have multiple data copies. We have native baked in high availability. We also have our cross-site protection. Like if you want to extend the protection to another data center, then we give you the disaster recovery. You can have an active standby or active stretch cluster solutions to secure your business continuity and secure your data. And I forgot to mention that we also have the backup that is integrated. You can do the backup to make sure that when the workloads goes down or compromised, you can recover them from the backup. If you want to have the highest level of data protection, we also have this integrated continuous data protection to make sure that you will never suffer any data loss. You can always recover your data from any point of time in the past 3 days. So it is a comprehensive protection of your data and your business that is running or stored on Sangfor HCI.
Yeah. As Chenny introduced that, we have different technologies to guarantee our customers' business continuity. So it's not a problem. And next question for security is that one of the attendees heard from their resellers that Sangfor have a dedicated solution for ransomware. We know that ransomware is bring a lot of impact to the world. So how does Sangfor's ransomware solution works, and how it's different from the other solutions? Okay. Jason.
Well, as popular as ransomware is, it's actually not that simple to stop them. Yeah. So what Sangfor does is not a single product to stop ransomware. Rather, most of our security products are designed with ransomware in mind. Now, the most popular ones for our customers is our combination of network and endpoint security protection, where they are designed to detect as well as to stop ransomware at all stages of the attack chain. Now, on top of that, for mid-sized business or a smaller business, our Platform X can actually step it up and provide a centralized monitoring. For larger enterprises, Cyber Command is a really good way for you to really monitor your internal traffic, especially for ransomware that might be dormant and they are actually trying to infect or probe other machines. Cyber Command is a great way for you to actually detect them. Now, these are technologies. In case you are actually suffering from a ransomware attack, regardless if you're a Sangfor customer or not, call us. We have an instant response service designed specifically for ransomware. Every month, we have dozens of customers comes to us, and we help them to detect and identify what's going on with ransomware.
Okay, to summarize that is we have technology, we have our correlated analytics and incident response, and also we have our security services or to deal with the ransomwares. Okay, next question for the cloud is that because some of the customers are already using other platforms like VMware or other platforms. So the question is that what is the use cases customer migrate from VMware to Sangfor HCI, and can we migrate containers to Sangfor SCI, for example, like Proxmox to container to Sangfor SCI?
Okay, those are two questions. So question one, VMware migration, right? So we have lots of customers who have migrated from VMware, Hyper-V, those legacy virtualization platforms to Sangfor HCI. The top two reasons why they migrated, from those third-party platforms to HCI is first, cost. Because the cost of service renewal of VMware product, is very expensive. Especially, we are seeing lots of customers who are using VMware vSphere legacy versions. Those versions are out of service, outdated. They may have some vulnerabilities, but because of the cost is too high to renew the service, so customers stay, keep the legacy version running in their production center, data center. So, there could be some compromises. There could be some security threats. And the second reason why customers migrated from third-party platforms to our HCI is reliability. Because previously they were running all of their workloads on those virtualized platforms. However, there was no storage because there was no external storage or virtual storage. Then no HA is available. So when one node goes down, there's no failover, and there's also no backup. There's no data protection, things like that. And those are the two reasons why customers migrated to Sangfor HCI, because we are providing a complete suite of features, like backup, like HA, like virtual storage, virtualized by our ASUN. And after they migrated their workloads from those third-party legacy platforms, they can utilize all of the advanced features we provided on Sangfor HCI to secure their data, to protect their workloads. And I'd like to mention, one more thing on Sangfor HCI. We have this VMware integration, okay? So previously, when customers need to migrate their workloads from VMware to HCI, we have to use, the P2V tool we provided for customers. Now, with our, VMware integration, they can just, add their vCenter, if there is any in their data center, to our platform. And they can unify the management for VMware and Sangfor HCI. They can migrate the VMware virtual machines to Sangfor HCI. They can even do backup for those VMware virtual machines on Sangfor HCI. So we are not only replacing VMware as the, as a de facto, virtualized platform to run customers' business critical applications. We are also providing this flexibility, this choice for customers to run VMware and Sangfor HCI side by side. So they can choose whether or not to migrate once and for all, or keep the two environments side by side to work together. And for the second question, the Proxmox container workloads migration, right? For the current version and our previous versions, Sangfor HCI is mainly optimized for virtualized workloads. That means, virtual machines. You can deploy virtual servers with, vCPU, virtualized memory, and virtualized NIC. And on our next version, which is coming in June, that version will be able to support Kubernetes and Dockers. That means customers can deploy containers on Sangfor HCI. And those containerized workloads can be run, side by side with our virtual server workloads. And for Proxmox containers, of course, on that version, you will be able to migrate them to Sangfor HCI. And because container has this nature of portability, you can even, seamlessly migrate them or, move them to the other environments that is suitable for your container workloads environments. So the short answer for that question is yes, of course, we can support that in our next version.
Okay, from the answer, you can see that Sangfor is a company focused on innovation. So we are providing the latest technology to our customers. And also the other question about security is about also one of the customer concerning about their investment in Sangfor's products. So one of the customers is using Sangfor IAM right now, and we have introduced that Sangfor will provide the CASP solutions in the future. So is it able to upgrade, just upgrade their IAM to support CASP, or is it another solution or product, Jason?
Okay. Well, all I know is, we have 50,000 customers worldwide using our IAM.
Yep.
But since that's your product, Aaron, you better answer that question.
Actually, for IAM, most of the customer right now they are providing, the customer using IAM is for improving productivity, but the new trend is now the customer are adopting the SaaS applications like Office 365 or other unsanctioned SaaS applications like cloud drives or instant message applications. So this will be a risk to the customers. So currently we are starting the CASP solution by discovering the shadow ITs. So our CASP solution will be one of the key features building IAM. So the answer is that it will be support upgrade from your current firmware to support the latest CASP solutions. And the other advantage is that we have the cloud abilities building IAM. So it will be optional that the customer can use the building IAM, the CASP capabilities in the appliance, or we will provide the cloud services to the customer to provide the CASP solutions. Okay. So next about the cloud question is that the Tanny asked about the new trend about managed cloud services. So can the managed cloud service platform host on customers on-premise, or does unified cloud management support Azure or Sangfor Cloud is local data center at Indonesia? I think this is Indonesia customer. Is Sangfor available for different areas like Sangfor also?
Oh, that's a multiple questions in one. And so managed cloud service is powered by our HCI. If customers want to deploy, their managed cloud service on premises, then that is basically our own private cloud. We don't call it managed cloud service. Okay, you can deploy Sangfor Cloud on premises in your data center, but it's not called managed cloud service. It's called private cloud service or enterprise cloud. The technology is provided by Sangfor, and you are managing the environment on premises in your data center by yourselves. Okay, and that is the answer for question one. And question two is, can our managed cloud service provide the unified management for Azure, right? So far, at the moment, the answer is not yet. Okay, we are going to support Azure in the near future. What we are going to support, the public cloud service, first is we are going to support the unified management for AWS and Alibaba at the first stage. And then at the second stage, we are going to move to Microsoft Azure and even, Google Cloud Service. So we will do this step by step on a phased manner. And so don't worry about that. It will be supported. So the question three is, do we have managed cloud service available in Indonesia and Singapore, right? So I think there's a bit misunderstanding in this, because, from Sangfor's point of view, we are not offering this cloud service by ourselves. It's not like, Sangfor is AWS or, Microsoft. We're not providing this, cloud infrastructure for our customers to consume. What we are doing here is we are providing the technology. We are giving our partners the capability to deploy an infrastructure as a service cloud platform, leveraging the capabilities of our HCI and our cloud, so that our customers, locally can provide this localized, customizable cloud service for their customers. Okay, so the managed cloud service is managed by our partners, and the technology is provided and maintained by Sangfor. So I believe we will, have partners managed cloud service available in Indonesia, in the major regions in Southeast Asia and Italy, and even Middle East in the coming months. So stay tuned. They will be coming.
Yeah, because this is a new service provided by Sangfor. So if you still have the question about this the service, you can contact Sangfor professionals for more details. And for this question, I think most of you guys have already noted that. I think Jason must have also stated about this problem. Is that a few days ago it was reported that there was some Sangfor SSL VPN was hacked. So what is the current status about this incident, Jason?
Okay, well, Sangfor is a security company. We take security incidents like this extremely serious. We're not free of vulnerabilities. Just like Microsoft, Adobe, and other security companies, we all have vulnerabilities, but we take them very seriously. So let's take a look at some of the facts here. The first is the number of VPN servers that are actually compromised is very few. I can count them with my fingers, how many there were impacted. This is far less from the 200 that was reported by the media and by our competitor. So that's fact number one. Number two is for the customers who have suffered the compromise, they had one similarity. They had extremely simple password for the security gateway, and that password has not changed for the last few years. Okay, this is another reminder that security configuration and regular security assessment is a key part of your security practice. So what did we do? We quickly rose to the opportunity. We responded to do this. We worked with these customers very quickly and helped them to address the issues. We also introduced a patch that addressed the issues as well. If you happen to use one of our SSL VPN gateways, please contact our professional service teams, and they will get you back on the road. In the interest of time, it's 5 p.m. here. I just want to get everybody ready. Maybe 2 more questions from each, and then we'll wrap it up.
I think should we ask the last question about the picking up the questions? I think this question is for some of the guys you are not that lucky enough, but we want to provide something special to you. That one of the attendees asking about is there any special promotion for Sangfor during COVID-19? Because a lot of customers are cutting the budget mostly quite deep. So have an answer for that?
Yeah. In my session earlier, about an hour earlier, I talked about that 85% of the CFOs are telling IT to cut their budget, right? And for you, you have to carry on with your operation. How do you do that? Well, as a vendor, we're here to help. So during the pandemic, if you need to connect your users to your corporate network, well, come to us. We are offering some of the free of charge SSL VPN licenses that allows you to connect the users to your network. Come to our sales reps, we'll get that going. In addition, in the longer term, we do realize that the major portion of either your infrastructure or networking might be impacted as well. You are looking at probably prolong some of your cycles. We're willing to work with you if you have if you're shifting your budget from your capital expenditure into operational expenditure. Work with us. We are offering flexible pricing model, subscription models that can actually get you going by just paying either monthly or on an annual basis. Helps you to continue your digital transformation journey.
Okay, I think we have one last question for each of you guys. For Chenny, is that can you make some description or explanation about between Sangfor, SCI, and VMware, because this is a large vendor in the industry.
Okay, so ever since we released this product in 2016, we have encountered this question, every time when we, meet customers or meet partners. So I will summarize the comparison between Sangfor and VMware into 3 bullet points. First is simplicity and ease of use. As some of you may have already known, on Sangfor HCI, we are providing customers decentralized web-based user interface. We have a groundbreaking, what you join is what you get, visualize the network topology that is, one of the only on the market that can help customers easily manage their network topology that is running on Sangfor HCI. And it's extremely easy for our customers to deploy the solution. Okay, it's a single package of software they deployed on servers, do some simple configuration, and they can create a cluster, a resource pool, within half a day. And the second, differentiation from Sangfor solution is, of course, security. We have this security deep in our blood, in our gene, and we have integrated our security into Sangfor's solution. Okay, we have, if customers want, they can deploy our virtual firewall to gain the capabilities of our firewall, to secure the traffic in the north-south bound. We also provide a lot of security features like distributed firewall to secure the east-west traffic running between VMs. And inside the kernel, we even integrated with our WAF to protect the management console. So it is extremely secured, 360, all-rounded security provided by Sangfor. Last but not least is this, cost efficiency. Okay, we understand the customers, especially at this, uncertain times, they want to have a flexible, and budget-friendly solution. So what we can provide for customers is, a very economical solution, starting with 2 nodes. We know most vendors can only deploy starting 3 nodes for production workloads. For example, you can deploy, with 2 nodes and then gradually expand. Okay, this is, I believe, is the most, budget-friendly solution on the market that can help customers weather the storm, under these uncertain circumstances caused by COVID-19.
Okay, so the last question for security for Jason, as the cloud, we're providing the MSS, the new training, the services, and also for the question goes for the demand for SaaS services. Is there a foreseen in the Sangfor roadmap to provide the pay for use license in the future?
As you know, that we are more of a perpetual-based license. However, we are definitely, moving forward to welcome the trend of really shifting. CFOs asking IT to shift budget from CapEx to OpEx. So there are some examples I'm going to give you. Some of our products are working in the cloud. For example, our next-gen firewall. They will be deployed on the public cloud. As a user, you can get a consumption model where you can actually pay by month, by day, or even by hour. You can actually use them on a pay-as-you-go model. Now, for the firewall appliance, you can do the same thing. We are working with certain resellers in different regions where we are customers. As a customer, you can actually pay your firewall appliances as a pay-as-you-go model. Same thing for IAM. We're designing a model for pay-as-you-go that's coming up. If you're interested in this, please contact your local sales who will be in touch with us to get back to you. For a cloud, of course, cloud computing, the best way to do that is to work with your local MCPs, and they will design a pay-as-you-go model that can actually allow you to actually adopt really your operational expenditures. So that should be the last question. Again, on behalf of the entire Sangfor IMD staff, I want to thank you for joining from all corners of the world, staying safe, and we'll be talking to you in the next couple of days to get your feedback and identify next step. We look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Sangfor wants to sincerely thank you for attending today's virtual conference. We hope you learned something today. And if you didn't get a chance to speak to Jason, Aaron, and Chinny, please feel free to seek out Sangfor's local representative or partners for the answers you need. 2020 has been an unprecedented year, and Sangfor hopes to turn uncertainty into opportunity for everyone who works with us. Please do not hesitate to visit our website for more information. Thank you for your time and attention. Stay safe and healthy out there.